Editing, an important part of the filmmaking process. But what is editing? Film editing is the art, technique, and practice of assembling shots from a coherent sequence. Editing has changed dramatically over the last 100 years, with, in camera editing, we're simply starting and stopping the film in a camera so the camera is moved between shots or to create a special effect. In this video, the history, purpose, conventions, and techniques of editing will be covered to give a basic overview of editing. Moviola was the first successful editing machine. A flatbed which was released in 1924 and controlled with 2 foot pedals and a handbrake. It enabled the editor to see individual shots to decide where the best place to cut was and allowed 2 tracks of sound to be synced and played alongside the picture. The Steinbeck flatbed editor. Released in the 1930s by German company Steinbeck, which was usable with both 16mm and 35mm optical sound and magnetic sound film, and was the choice throughout the industry. The first non-linear editor was the CMX 600 and was introduced in 1971. This allowed editors to watch a playback of the tape while recording selected parts onto a second. While in the 90s digital editing software took over, the softwares that are widely used are Avid, Final Cut, and Adobe Premiere Pro. It also enabled non-linear editing to become easier via copy and pasting the footage into a different place. Digital editing software enabled editing to be produced on laptops, thus freeing them from the edit suite, which in turn enhances the efficiency of the editing and the ability to make individual content. It also resulted in a huge leap in special effects editing. Storytelling is an integral part of the film. The editor's job is to keep the audience's interest in the story, as they can further tell the story in the way that sets the pace, atmosphere, and tone. This develops drama and motivation, while also helping to understand the relationship between the genre and the film that the audience is watching. Combining shots into a sequence is when the shots are placed together to make them flow. Once individually edited, they can be placed together to create the whole film. Pace can be sped up or slowed down depending on the narrative of the film. Chase scenes tend to be set up at a faster pace, with shots being short, which helps keep the audience engaged as the atmosphere is tense, since people don't know what's going to happen next. While a slower pace can be used in crucial dialogue between characters so the audience can understand what's going on, or even in horror films as it creates more suspense, so the audience is scared, which is pivotal to the horror genre as a whole. Seamless continuity is key because if a prop or another little detail is missing when a shot changes from one to another, the space and the time of the shot is ruined. Providing and withholding information. The shots the editor decides to use can add suspense or a sense of unknowing to the scene. An example of this is when the character conceals a gun away from the character and is then revealed to add a surprise for the audience and more drama to the scene. Montage is where seemingly unconnected shots are spliced together to produce a further, often symbolic meaning. This can be used to speed up the film when the main character travels to a brand new location for the first time, or to make several months into a few minutes, with a good example being the famous montage in Rocky. A jump cut is where there's an abrupt transition from one scene to another. This is due to the way the shot is framed, causing it to look like a jump. This first came about in the French New Wave, especially noted in Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless. To shorten the time of the film, they can also be used to add pace to a scene. Cross-cutting is used to establish action occurring in 2 different locations, commonly at the same time. The 180-degree rule is an imaginary line between 2 characters, where the camera needs to stay on one side of the line. If this is broken, it may make the audience feel uncomfortable or distort them. The reverse shot is where the audience sees one character looking at another character, and then that character is shown looking back at the first character. There has to be an eye-line match between the 2 characters, where the gaze of the 2 characters meet. Otherwise, this establishes a logical coherence between the 2 shots to help keep continuity. Transitions are where scenes or shots are combined by the editor. A dissolve is used as a transition between scenes, which gradually transitions from one scene to the other. It can be used to show a strong relationship between the ingoing and the outgoing shot. The fade in and out typically symbolises the beginning or the end of the film. Meanwhile, the wipe is similar to the fade in and out, but they suggest a new part or a chapter of the film. Cutting to soundtrack is where each cut is influenced by the style of the music and is used in the scene. Also used in music videos. The style of music can influence the mood in the scene and the feelings the audience have towards the characters. A good example of this is in the opening scene of Baby Driver. The soundtrack is crucial as it drives the scene forward in the way the heist is cut, so the characters' actions fit with the beat of the music as it evolves into a chase scene. With the multiple cuts used to focus more on the characters and their reactions, setting up the movie as a whole with Baby listening to the music that is also being played to the audience and how his driving is then influenced by the music. Linear and non-linear is where the narrative of the film is told in a chronological order, which is standard in most films. Meanwhile, in a non-linear film, the events in the narrative are jumbled into different places. Famous examples of non-linear films include Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, while a more recent example is Dunkirk, directed by Christopher Nolan. Overall, we can see that editing has a vital role in the production of a film, and the techniques used create an impact for the audience watching. Thank you for watching this video.